Welcome to a video from thislifestyle.com. This video I'm going to show you my new collection for the Korg Wavestate. This is the D110 collection volume 2. So volume 1 I've already released, this is the second set. This covers the middle of the alphabet. I roughly split it into 3 packs because it takes quite a long time to create these. So these are samples which are sampled from the D110 behind me over there, and D110 is Roland's multitimbral synth module from 1988. The idea behind that is it was multitimbral, rack mounted. You could hook it up to your sequencer, which could be early versions of Cubase, I think Pro 32, on your Atari, and it could receive on multiple MIDI channels and different sounds on each MIDI channel. So you could create tracks using this in the days before DAWs and digital multi-track recording. So I've sampled all these sounds, and then I've created the performances for them as well. If you've got a mod wave, I've also got a set available for that as well. I'm going to demonstrate these sounds. Some of these are custom patches that I've created based off these sounds, but most of them are the samples into performance. This one is called Glasses. Which is based off the preset. And then we've got Glock, which is a glockenspiel. And the way that the D10, the D110, D50 that it's based on, architecture works, there was what they call partials on the D110. There's 4 partials. You could have a sample or synthesis, and you can have combinations of them. Because memory was so expensive, the had very short samples, the attack parts, and then they synthesized the longer, the decay, the sustained parts of it. So for things like the glockenspiel, you got quite a nice sound from that because that's the actual sample. Some of the other things like guitars don't sound quite as realistic, but they have their own character. Anyway, now to the next one, Factory. So this is a custom patch which I've made. I'll just quickly show you. That's made of multiple layers. So we've got a spectrum sound, which is actually just one of the Wavestate built-in samples, but that's just has a bit of background. And the main parts of it are the sequences. So there you can see the samples. You can hear the ironworks, the hammer. So those are all D110 samples, but I just sequenced them, almost like you would do on a wave station. And then combine that on another layer of percussion, just using the built-in samples. And on the final layer, we've got an electric piano. Again, some wave switching on there. So when you put the whole thing together, done. An industrial type effect. Night. I like those sort of late 80s digital bell type sounds. A couple of guitars, less realistic than maybe the later synths would do it, but their own characteristics, and I've included poly aftertouch to add some vibrato. Guitar 2. Not that realistic, but got a nice sound. Harmo Pan I do like. Harmo Pan, which is one I do like actually. You can hear those those layer switching on that. And a harmonica. With the poly aftertouch on it as well. And a couple of harps. By the nature of the harp, short attack sound, actually sound quite good. Quite nice sound those. And we've got some harpsichords, not as realistic, but they've got like an electronic flavour to them, which I actually like. Harpsi 3 I like probably most because it sounds the most electronic, especially lower down. Harpsi Harmonics. This is a custom patch. Using some wave sequencing to bring those in. So you can hear there's a few layers on this one. And Harpsi Vox, which is one of the presets. We've got a hollow pad. Kind of slight out of tune. A honky tonk piano, not the best sound, but again electronic, and I quite like it. A couple of horns. So we've got a horn and strings, which I've just layered those. And you can hear the poly aftertouch on the strings. And a horn lead. And we've got a horn lead which makes use of the layering quite well. This is all done on the D110. So you can hear those layers on there. An insect. In a wood, which is a sort of a hollow synth sound. Ironworks, which is the samples I heard earlier, and it's one of those sounds that you'd use to demonstrate the D series, the loops. Jamasan and Jungle Tune. You can hear it looping on there. A nice Koto. And a light bass. Roland's name looks not mine. Lowney Wolf, and a marimba, which sounds actually really good because it's a short sample. Again, that worked really well. I've actually created a sequence with this as well, which you can use the sample control to increase that. So, using the wave sequencing to do that. A metal drum. Metallics, which is nice. So you've got metallics, digital synth sound. So don't forget that you've got these in your Wavestate. You can incorporate them into your own patches with the sequences as well. So try to bit of digital grit in there. We've got a mild bell. And an organ. I've got a few organs actually, but this is called moss organ. Like a vocal quality to it. Native loop. Another one finger demo track. I had a D20 back in the day, and I often use that to look at what these synths can do. You know, I came from, before I had the D20, I had a DX100, so, which is up on the shelf behind me there. So you can see why it was so impressive. And we've got some native percussion. And these are some of the ones I used in some of those sequences. A Nightmare, which is actually one of my favourite sounds on here. Again, another digital, very digital sounding, but sort of choirish almost. An oboe. Poly aftertouch. And another one of the presets was called Oboe 20. Another one of the presets is called Oboe 2002. Maybe they thought this was the future, what the future would sound like in 1988. Old Days, which I think is supposed to be an old type synth. Which is a nice usable sound. And One Note Jam, another one finger jam. Not sure how much you can use it. An Orchestral Hit. It doesn't quite sound like the Fairlight or the Emulators one, but and Overdrive, which is a lead guitar type sound. Put some distortion on it, it wouldn't sound too bad actually. Pan pipes, which I do really like, yeah. Bit of poly aftertouch on there. Piccolo. With poly aftertouch. And a pick guitar. I took that sound and incorporated that into a sequence, played about with some of the wave sequences. So I took the guitar pick, put it into a wave sequence, and you get something like this. And jumps away, you can hear just the guitar. few organs. I mentioned we've got pipe organs. Too bad. Pizzicato. Used on the D50 a lot because it was pretty, when it came out, it was kind of the first time you hear that sort of type of sound on a synth, and you used it a lot at others on the D50, which is still a good sound on the D110. And we've got a couple of synths. We've got a polysynth, and a power synth, and a power synth. A recorder, which is actually really nice. With the poly aftertouch on there, and a couple of resonance type sounds, resonance sweeps, resonance sweep 2. And a res synth. And a reverse bell. And a reverse cymbal. Rich wood. And a sample loop, which is one I created going through some of the samples. So you can hear it just going through those samples. So that gives you sort of the flavour to things you can do with it. So to import these into your Wavestate, on the previous video, the volume 1, I did a little section on that. I'm going to play that next so you can see how to import these into your Wavestate. Please like and subscribe if you like the videos and the sounds on the channel. Thanks for watching the video. Enjoy them in your Wavestate. If you've got mod waves, don't forget to check out those, and I've got loads more. I've got loads more stuff in the pipeline, but any suggestions, you've got any things that you think I should be looking at, please leave comments and I'll see what I can do. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Right, so now I'm going to show you how you can import my samples into ModWave or Wavestate, and the native versions as well. So what you're going to need is the Korg Sample Builder, so fire the sample builder up. Now there's two ways you can do this. I do provide you with a bank file which you can send to your device. It will remove the other samples in and just play that bank file. So let me just quickly show you. So you go to Open Bank, browse to the file. So here's the file, the D110 file. So there you can now see all the samples from this collection. Pick your device and send bank. So that will remove all the existing samples, you know, not the factory sounds or anything like that, just the user samples. It removes those and sends this bank over. So that's great. If you're not using any multi-samples, this will send them over. If you want to retain your existing multi-samples and add mine as new ones, then I'll show you how to do that in a second. So that's sent that over. They're all in there. I'll show you how you access the performances in a second. So there's all sent over, and I could send those by picking there to the Wavestate. But what I actually prefer to do is have my own master bank and then just add the provided multi-samples and then send that, so that way you don't wipe out each time, you just keep adding new ones. So I go to my bank, so I've got an ID bank there. This is my master one, so everything is in here. So you could have one of those, and you want to add my D110 files in, you can do add multi-samples, and then you'll find all the sounds in there, and then you can pick the one you wanted to add and add that one, and that adds it in there. So then this is now my master, so I've got all my Fairlight ones in and my D110 ones and the mkII ones in, and I can just do send bank. Okay, so that's sent that. All those are now in my ModWave, and like I said, for Wavestate I would just pick that one and do the same thing. If you've got ModWave Native or Wavestate Native, what you can do is you can get your bank or my bank, and then you do save bank for plugin. I'm going to call my ID samples because that's what it is, or you could be my D110 samples, but you save that. And it does some of the cleanup actions and the compiling and things like that in the background, and it prepares that file ready for the ModWave Native or Wavestate Native. So to import into the Wavestate, it's just a question of going to import, find the file that you unzipped, the D110 file, and then import that in, and that's done. So that's the performances.